There's a really important topic that I want to talk about today, and that is embracing your shadow self, doing shadow work, and why it's so important. Shadow work is important to bring awareness, compassion, and integrate the different parts of yourself, different parts that exist within you, the different versions of you. Those versions that you have suppressed, rejected, or disowned. The ones that you have felt shame about. The version of you that has been shamed, criticized, or deemed as unacceptable by other people. People around you, people in your community, family, society, religion, culture. Because the shadow self, or the parts of you that were seen as too much, the ones that were shamed, they are not too much. I want to set this clear before anything. They are not too much. They're not bad either, and there is nothing wrong with you. And it's important to see this and understand this because listening to those experiences and those people that have shamed us before or made us feel too much can definitely hold us back from living our best potential and a life of alignment. And something really important to know is how people that have shamed you, people that have criticized you, people that have told you that you're too much, or that have implied or made you feel that way through their actions, are people that are carrying that themselves. Again, it has nothing to do with you. But oftentimes, we internalize those things, those interactions, those words, those opinions. And when you're an adult, you are wondering, why am I feeling this way? Why does my mind go there? But this is just because you have been programmed that way. And most of the time, when this happens, is when we are children. Because when we are children, we are walking sponges. We are at our most vulnerable states. Our brain is at our most vulnerable state. When we are children, we're learning. Our awareness is being brought into different things. And if you're criticized, if people make comments or remarks that you weren't even aware of before, but then you became aware of, and you started seeing yourself from that perspective, you started picking yourself apart, and maybe you even had moments where you felt disgusted with yourself and you didn't even know why. This is just because those people were programmed a certain way. Those people did not deal with their own unhealed wounds and they projected it onto other people. But it is not yours to carry anymore. That is why shadow work is so important. That is why it's important to validate yourself, to give love to those parts. If those people made any remarks, it's because they were uncomfortable with themselves. They were trying to tear someone down. They projected their own insecurities onto you and tried to also make you carry theirs instead of healing themselves. Instead of choosing not to become the person that hurt them, they just became it. They did the same thing. But you don't. You're here for a reason. You choose to do better. You choose to be there for yourself. You choose to release the chains of anyone that isn't working on their healing or embracing all versions of themselves. And the human psyche tends to internalize those things if you're not consciously aware and if you're not deciding and understanding, no, this isn't me, this isn't who I want to be, this is not something that I want to pay attention to, this is not true. Their opinions are not true. It's okay to be self aware. and to look at yourself with true honesty and understand. There's a difference between feedback that is given because they want you to grow and feedback or criticism that is only meant to tear you down. You can understand it and feel it and sense it by understanding or sensing their intentions. Intentions are everything. We go through different stages, and different things come up during different times. It is important to face the uncomfortable emotions and thoughts, but without judging them, and seeing them with compassion, seeing them with a higher mind, with a higher view, seeing the bigger picture, recognizing and seeing how that version of you or those traits, those triggers, those emotions, thoughts served you in the moment, the way the body was operating, the way the body operates. To see the best in it and reclaim your power and reclaim the pureness that is in that. Reclaim the pureness of you that is in there. Shadow work is about becoming whole within yourself and understanding yourself. If other people could not understand you, you understand yourself. You decide to understand yourself. You decide to take these steps to understand yourself. And honestly, the thing that I find the most precious about shadow work is that these parts of you that were deemed as too much, or these parts of you that were labeled as something or judged, they are and can be your greatest gifts if you embrace them, if you see them with love and understanding and compassion. They can propel you forward and they make you who you are. They make you unique. Because being called too much, it can mean that you are just very expressive, a visionary, passionate, creative, someone with big energy, someone that feels a lot. Or if you were called selfish, you just had boundaries that you needed others to respect, not to invalidate. Self respect. Or if you were called lazy, you needed rest, recovery. You didn't want to push yourself through something that wasn't aligning with your truth in the moment. Or being called too sensitive. You were an intuitive little baby, empathetic, or highly in tune with others. You see how there's nothing wrong in that? When we decide to do the shadow work and see it from a different perspective. Or being called weird or different. That means you are authentic to yourself or had a unique perspective. And unique and different is okay. We're not meant to all be the same. Some of us are on different frequencies because we are meant to do different things, make our own path, pave our own way, do things our way, not following the crowd. And so there are gifts in your shadow, in those parts of you that were ashamed or criticized. Shadow work opens up your mind to different awareness, to a different level of wholeness and understanding and accepting yourself. Because if you see yourself from a neutral perspective, imagine that you're looking at yourself from up above. As a little child, before anyone ever told you anything, before those beliefs that you have about yourself and that shame or guilt that you carry was there, before anyone brought into your awareness that you're too much, or that you're selfish, or that you're this or that, you can maybe even ask yourself, what was the situation? Look back. And you will see that there wasn't anything wrong with you in reality. They made you the problem. They made you self conscious about things. Because there were people that were also not operating from a conscious standpoint, operating from hurt, operating from their own limitations. Those that are conscious, those that are doing the work, those that have chosen to see themselves truly and openly and wholly, they wouldn't be calling you too much. They would understand because that is the normal thing to understand, to do, to understand. Compassion should be the norm. Working on yourself, loving yourself, understanding yourself, and not projecting onto others or trying to hurt others or have malicious intentions out of your own hurt should not be the norm. Compassion should be the norm. Love should be the norm. So let's make that the norm. And you make that the norm by working on yourself, by showing up for yourself, by doing that for yourself first. Because when you do it for yourself, whether you understand it or not, you're still impacting those that come around you. You're impacting those that get a chance to be in your life, those that get a chance to interact with you, those that get to be around your energy. So if you've been hurt, don't just do this for yourself, but also do it for others. So you can spread good onto the world and make it different. We all think that we don't normally have an impact, but other people that have come across us or our energy, even strangers, you have an impact. You are more valuable, more impactful, and more important than you think. We all matter. And it is important for us to be our best and hold ourselves to a high standard and embody that and act from that place. And not in a strict, rigid way, but in a loving and compassionate way. In a way that changes you and in a way that changes everyone around you as well. Love you. Don't forget to show up for yourself. You got this. I'm proud of you. And I'll include some shadow work prompts. I'll put a list together of my favorite ones.